for tonight is the regular town board meeting, July 12th, 2021. Please rise and salute the flag.
Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get started, I'd like to just kind of have a moment of silence. We've lost, Gene Molino lost his son this past Friday, and it's a tragedy. He's down there now with the family, but I think it'd be appropriate for us to have a quick moment of silence for Gene's son. Thank you. Call the roll.
Councilman O'Neill.
Here.
Councilman Lewandowski.
Here.
Councilman Fazio.
Here.
Deputy Supervisor Barnhart.
Here. Before we get going, we have a couple of guests tonight. We have Stacy Smith and Kristen Waller from the Hudson Headwater Mobile Unit, and they have a little presentation for us. And, we're excited for it.
Oh, thank you. It's glad to be here.
Thank you.
So my name is Stacy Smith. I'm the Director of Shared Services at Hudson Headwaters. And Kristen Waller is the Mobile Health Program Leader. We are here to talk to you about the mobile program, and then I don't know if it's dark enough.
Running. Yeah, there we go.
Stacy, can you make sure you're talking to the mic as best as you
Sure.
can? We're doing something.
You can spin that around towards you.
Is that better?
Yeah, we're just trying to record on a CD, and it only comes in good. We're right on the microphone.
Sure. So we launched the mobile health program in June in Salem, New York, which is a 40-foot RV that's going to Salem 2 days a week and seeing patients for primary care services. We've identified a couple other communities. Whitehall is a potential community. Adirondack Community College is interested in us going there for a day or two a month to provide care. And we reached out to the town of Luzerne to see if you were interested in us bringing the mobile unit to you because we know that we already have a relationship with the school-based program in Luzerne. So we'll look at the slides and then open it up to any questions that you may have, or the community may have.
Perfect.
So the first slide, I'll let Kristen go through the slides and she can talk about the program.
So hi, I'm Kristen. It's very nice to meet everyone. So our mission at Hudson Headwaters, especially with our mobile health, is to drive access to culturally sensitive, affordable, high quality primary care services for medically underserved populations within our region. We would like to expand the local healthcare safety net through an innovative mobile healthcare delivery model, which is our 40-foot RV. So our goals, as it says here, is to identify and address community barriers to accessing primary and specialty health care, increase access to primary care services for vulnerable and rural populations, and to provide ongoing health education and community outreach, which we've successfully started doing in Salem as of June 2nd. So our mobile team, there's 4 main people within our mobile team, though it was so many people that got us up and running. Our provider on the unit is a family nurse practitioner. Her name is Christine Calistri. She is a board-certified family nurse practitioner. She has 28 years experience in clinical practice, and she was a lieutenant nurse for the Nurse Corps for the United States Navy. She's done medical missions. She is incredible. She loves what she does, and I'm so grateful to work with her every day. Next on the slide is Stacy Smith, who is sitting here with me right now. As she had said, she's the Director of Shared Services. She oversees so many different aspects of Hudson Headwaters, but she also oversees the mobile health program. She's been with Hudson Headwaters for 5 years. She's a native of Salem, New York, which really helped with us working there and starting there. And Stacy hired me, and my name is Kristen. I'm the mobile medical program leader. I'm also a medical assistant, so I'm on the unit wherever the unit goes. I manage the day-to-day operations. I am able to help with patients. I check them in. I answer our phones. I function as a medical assistant. I'm really in the thick of it because it's important for me to be there in that capacity. From Philly, I moved here for this opportunity about a year ago now. So I'm really excited to get this finally up and running. We just hired a nurse from Washington County. Her name is Nicole Hoagland. She will be starting on August 9th. And not on this slide, but we also hired an additional per diem nurse to help out in our Salem location. So a bit of background, if you're interested in it, in 2019, we wrote a request for proposal to actually 6 different mobile manufacturers. We developed the floor plan, we decided the size, you know, a lot went into us getting there, and I don't have to bore you with the details, but I will say that we did get a grant in 2019 from the Charles R. Wood Foundation for $1 million. That is what actually got us off the ground. The floor plan, I can't read this. I'll be completely upfront and honest, but some people find this very interesting. So I figured I'd include that in the slide, but I will show you. Let's jump around a little bit. This is what our mobile unit looks like. As we had said, there's a 40-foot RV. There are 2 exam rooms, one in the front, one in the back. We have an exterior and interior television. We have a point of care testing area. We have a waiting area and a restroom on the unit. A closer look at our exam rooms. Again, from the pictures, it's kind of hard to tell, but if you go to our website, you can actually click through the unit as if you're walking through it. Oh, yeah, that's a great point. So our mobile health unit is handicap accessible. We do have a wheelchair ramp lift that comes out of the unit just with a click of a button. Our restrooms are also handicap accessible as well to be ADA certified. Now on the unit, we provide primary care health services, pediatric care services, gynecologic services, and point of care testing, which is including as needed blood draw, as well as many other tests. So we can test for COVID on the unit, we can test for flu, we can test for any urinalysis or any kind of urine specimens right on the unit. We can also provide immunizations, both vaccine for children and standard vaccines, all on the unit. Now, we can do a lot, but this is not an urgent care. So knowing who is coming in, we are doing our very best to accommodate anyone who wants to come in, same day included, but we would like to have a scheduled appointment to know which medications and vaccines we need to have on the unit to provide the best care to avoid someone having to come back. So just figured I'd touch on that. Let's see. So this, again, is just a picture of what we drew up for the unit. And now for us to go to a location, we need a couple things from the town. So that includes parking. Do you want to take this
Right,
over?
yep. So in each of your folders is also a list of what is required from the town. We're making a commitment to the towns to come to the communities to provide primary care. And in return, there are some things that we do need in order to be able to set up. And again, there's a parking requirement. We do need some electricity to be able to plug into. We do have a generator on the unit, but it is ideal to be able to plug in. And we do need internet access to be able to have a hardwire internet connection. And then we also do need water. And then there's just some general information about where we do need to park the unit. We have to be mindful to not be too close to the building, but to be close enough to be able to connect. So I don't know if that's, given questions or concerns or.
I love it. I'd love to have you set up near the senior center. I think we got to accommodate all your wishes there. Maybe we have to run by the board, obviously, but I'd love to have it.
Who's qualified to go to this? Anybody?
Anybody, we see any patient, any insurance, if you don't have insurance, we'll still see you and try to get the patient set up with insurance if possible.
The regular copay would apply for whatever insurance.
Yes.
We've started to notice in Salem that there's quite a few migrant agricultural workers, so we're seeing them on the unit as well. So there's definitely a need. It's, it's a little bit of a ramp up in Salem. We have days where we have no patients, and then by the end of the day, we have 6 patients scheduled for the next day.
Disability to pay is a factor. If no one has no insurance, no money, then they still have to be
This one, absolutely. It doesn't matter if you have insurance or not, or if you, it doesn't matter what insurance you have. We also offer a sliding fee program, which is fantastic. 8 out of 10 people that apply get approved for it. So even if you have insurance, we encourage our patients to apply for it, because what could cost, say, 100, then would only cost 10 or 5 based on your income or the income of your family. So, our we went through our mission, but our mission really is to provide care to people who don't have it, people who don't have access to it, people who have identified their own internal barriers, whether it be financial, insurance, or otherwise. We'll see them, and that's what's most important. At least that's why I have this job, and that's what drives me to be in there.
Now, would this unit stay right there, or does it leave at night and come back there in the morning, or?
So right now in Salem, we drive it out on Monday morning and it sleeps over, and then Tuesday night, we bring it home. If we're, once we identify the need, we can identify how many days it would be here, and we started to suggest.
Yeah, we would probably propose to start 1 day a week to see what the need is. We can always add or subtract. That's a great thing about a mobile unit, is you can adjust as you need.
We have a driver named Kyle who would take that.
So
We're not driving.
Yeah, Kyle comes to the unit, he comes and sets up everything, make sure everything is secure for us. If we were to park it overnight, he comes and takes it down at the end of the night, and then comes back the next day to set it up. Or if we were to take it back to the owners, he would back it up and drive it.
Someone's walking up the stairs and they take a nasty fall out of the thing, crash onto the pavement, what happens?
So there is actually an agreement, if you decide to pursue this and go forward, there's an agreement between the town and Hudson Headwaters, which states in the agreement what we provide and what the town is responsible for. So that would be something that we would negotiate, but it would be, the insurance would cover if there was an accident on the property.
The insurance paid yours or ours or a combination?
I can't remember the exact detail of what the agreement is, but we've gone through it a couple times with different towns, and I honestly can't remember the detail, but I think it depends on where the accident occurs with insurance.
Could you get us a copy of your insurance program?
We'll send you the whole agreement if, which outlines everything. We're ready to start with it.
Dave, you have any questions?
No.
How about from the audience? I mean, does anyone have, Barb, I know you probably have a question. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a great idea. For any that don't know, I'm Barb Mitchell. I'm the program director at the Senior Center. And I know with the barriers that the lady spoke about as far as internal barriers and actual access to going to a doctor is huge in our area. And what we automatically go and say, oh, it's only 12 miles, I'll just drive there. But if you're talking about someone that doesn't have transportation, that 12 miles is a huge barrier. So if you had a mobile unit here, that would be so just easy for folks to get a ride here and just be here to have a medical appointment. I can see that. And the fact that it's handicap accessible, it's huge.
Yes.
Okay. So going forward, I think we're all interested in doing this, right? Dave, what do we need to do to move forward with this?
Until we get a copy of the proposed agreement from us and Headwaters, nothing, just have them send over.
Yeah, that's great. I think because we're all excited for it.
If we look that over and we gotta figure out getting the correct people in to supplying their water problem.
I don't think there'll be any issue.
Power, get that outside the building,
So
things of that sort.
Yeah, and like I said, the list, there's a more in-depth list.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are other things like we need access to a building for facilities in case our restroom doesn't work on the. It's all outlined in there.
You carry a 50-foot cord off your rig.
25 foot?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is 25 feet, like that.
Okay. So if you're parking parallel with the building, then.
Right, and we have a whole facilities department that would come out and look at the property to see if this is the best place to put
Okay.
it. So we've been through it a couple of times now, so we already know what we're doing at this point. So they would come out, make sure we have a good internet connection, where we're proposing, where we put it would work. And then, we would take it from there.
Well, thank you very much. We're very excited. Yeah, very excited to have you.
Okay, so you want me to forward the agreement to?
Absolutely.
you? Okay.
Yes, yeah, and then I'll get Dave to look over for us. And we'll get back to you quickly because we'd like to see it happen quickly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for your
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you for your time.
coming.
Be a nice help to the town.
Yeah, we look forward to moving forward. Sorry for taking-
That's okay, take your time. Mike, do you have a little presentation that you need to do before I get in the meeting?
Thank you, yes. Start right from here.
I'm sorry.
Take your time. My name is Mike Schaefer and Jane Opelander.
Kevin Webb.
We're part of a team that has been monitoring the lake for 2 years. It's part of the C-SLAP program.
Wait, I'm gonna have you hold up for a minute, but we're trying to get everything on the CD, so you're really gonna have to talk into the mic so the CD picks you up.
You got everything, ladies? You need help?
No, we're good.
We're good,
Thank you so
thank you.
much.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Thanks
meet you.
again for coming.
Sorry. We're part of the CSLAP program, which is Citizen Statewide Lake Assessment Program in New York State. And it's paid for through grants. And we actually have, through the Lake Luzerne Association, got equipment, got some materials, and also paid dues. And this is a 5-year sampling program from the state for Lake Luzerne. We have, right now, there's about 6 of us that are involved. We're all volunteers, myself, Jane, Kevin, Kurt Mikulski, Howard Schaefer, and Kurt's daughter, Kiala. We go out every 2 weeks, 8 times during the summer. We're waiting for last year's assessment to come in, written results, and we'll get this fall, we'll get the results of the sampling for this year. What we do is we use equipment that's provided. Let Jane demonstrate the subject disc and talk about it a little bit. Right. What we do is we drop that down until we can't see it anymore. We bring it up, we measure it. And that shows us the clarity depth of the lake at different points. We take that depth, we chart it, we write it down. This is our quote unquote Bible. All the information that we take and then annotate it, we send it in along with our lab sample. Kevin's got the Kemmer, which I demonstrated rather badly at the July 4th presentation. And what we do is we send this down pretty much at the same point on the lake every 2 weeks to a depth of about between 12, 13 meters. So 36, 38, 39 feet. We bring it up, it closes, locks. We put the water into containment plastic containers. We take the temperature at the bottom, take the temperature at 1 meter. We annotate all this information. It all goes on a sheet and gets sent in. So these are the 2 pieces of equipment we use. We also do shoreline observation, where we look for a bunch of things on the lake. Algae blooms, particularly, they're called HABs, harmful algae blooms. If we see something that looks suspicious, like a little blob of a green or bluish cloud in the water, we take a sample, we bring it up, send it into the lab. It all goes to a lab in Syracuse. This happened last year one time, and and we had someone come up from Darren Water Institute to check it out. It was deemed non-harmful, and we just went on with the rest of the summer. Lake George has experienced this, as other lakes, and it could be harmful to the point where part of the lake could be shut down. Some of the other things that we sample are water clarity, the acidity of the water, the chlorophyll, which indicates the amount of algae in the water, and there's other things that they look for in the lab, and they'll send us a report on it. Once the samples are collected, paperwork's completed, they're packaged and shipped in a box. They're refrigerated. Some of the samples are actually frozen. And this is all prepaid, goes through UPS to a lab, again, in Syracuse for analysis. All results are pending. We hope the full report will come back in the fall. We know it's important to continue to support this monitoring effort. Got a couple of things just for you to peruse and look at later. It's important to continue to support the monitoring effort. That's to help maintain the recreational viability of the lake. And the piece that I'm handing out, giving you, is in the beginning of the book, Diet for a Small Lake. It's published by the New York State Lake Management Commission. Read that later at your leisure. Just want to mention this one thing. The lake management plan describes the activities that can be undertaken by lake associations, government, which I underline, private sector and individuals. It empowers local residents and helps balance conflicting interests. We also have had publicity the past couple of years. Star has done a couple of articles on us. Last thing I want to say to the board is I invite any or all members of the board out on the lake, either observe the sampling session that we do, or you can meet us at Wayside Beach, where we actually do our chemistry, we call it, quote. And or you can see the current state of the lake anytime. Let me know. About 15, we think, 20 years ago.
15.
Yeah, I know you can't see from here, but that's Sheila and Bill with one of my older boats that I had. And we actually had to drag 2 other boats around, Mark McLean and Tom Peel didn't go with us. He stayed on the shore that year, right? He didn't want to get on the boat. And then Danny, you were out there too. That's you in the back. Yeah. So I haven't been out on the lake with, I don't think any of the board members recently, but you're more than welcome to come out and see the lake. The lake is unfortunately, and I say this truly, unfortunately, we've become a magnet to people from surrounding areas that are told, come to Lake Luzerne, it's beautiful. I was out last week, we had over 30 kayaks on the lake from Wayside Beach. Lifeguards are guarding the beach. As an aside here, I train the lifeguards on the beach. There's only 8 of them this year. We have 8, so probably by the end of August, 4 or 5 of them are going to college. We get some more great. If not, might not be able to stay at the beaches. But they're just focused on watching the water and the safety of the lake. They really can't be concerned with boats going out and doing all that other stuff. So one of our projects would be to get lake stewards, maybe down at the boat launches on both beaches, to make sure that people are doing the right thing with their boats, washing them off, so that we don't get other invasive species in the lake. Any questions?
When do you guys meet? Mike, do you have a day that the association meets?
Our group,
Yeah.
we get together every 2 weeks,
Then I'd like to,
on a Saturday or Sunday. Call me, well, you got my number. So it's in the townhouse.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, just call me up, anyone, you're welcome to come out. You can bring a fishing pole, but if you catch a fish, you have to let it go. We don't catch and keep, we catch and release.
Thank
Other
you,
than
Mike.
that, we had a good time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for guys, what you do.
As a final note, we've been doing this for probably 35 years now. This program, however, is in its second year of a 5-year grant. Thank you, Chester.
Dave, do we need a motion to accept those minutes on the first part of the agenda? Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, at this point, I'm gonna open up the floor to the public for stuff on the agenda only, okay, and then we'll reopen the floor later, so if anybody has any questions, what's on tonight's agenda? Be a great time to step forward. I'm just, I'd like to come up and talk into the microphone so we can get it recorded. Oh. Resolution. Yeah. Not just the small one, yeah.
Resolution 94 of 2021 authorizing payment of monthly vouchers of the abstract as filled in the office, as filed in the office of the town clerk. These are introduced by Deputy Supervisor Waterhouse.
Yes.
General fund.
Okay.
Vouchers number 27391 to 27443, 24,466.65. Highway voucher set 27,444 to 27,473, 17,724.46. Lake Luzerne Water Fund vouchers 27,474 to 27,483, $4,238.53. Hudson Grove Water voucher 27,484 for $25.
In a second. And before we call the roll, I did pull two bills. They were to come out of occupancy tax. They were for just so you notice, because we have to approve those separately, correct? Dave?
All in favor? Opposed?
Sorry, I should have explained it here. Go down this one. You don't need the only.
Resolution 95 of 2021, resolution extending the deadline as identified in resolution 92 of 2021 for submission of bids for the town hall roof repair to July 31st of 2021, introduced by Councilman Lewandowski.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 96 of 2021, resolution authorizing the town of Lake Luzerne to accept title to a 2015 Ferris 48-inch deck commercial zero-turn riding mower with 98 hours of use from Joseph Mitchell as a donation to the town of Lake Luzerne Buildings and Grounds Department. Introduced by Councilman Lewandowski.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 97 of 2021. Resolution authorizing the solicitation for bids to all heating fuel providers to bid on providing heating fuel to the town of Lake Luzerne for the 2021-2022 winter season, with the bid submission deadline of July 31st of 2021, introduced by Deputy Supervisor Waterhouse. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 98 of 2021, resolution authorizing this and supporting the cardboard boat race funded by the PTSA to take place on September 12th, 2021 at the Wayside Beach from 12 noon to 3 p.m. Introduced by Councilman O'Neill. All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 99 of 2021, resolution authorizing town historian Pam Warren to proceed in her initiative of marking of the burial location in recognition of local Native American Annie Dennis Fuller, also known as Falling Star, including an educational storyboard kiosk in Mill Park, and to purchase the materials as defined in Schedule A, attached here to and made a part hereof, and an amount not to exceed $2,500, with the funds for payment from the town of Lake Luzerne occupancy tax, introduced by Deputy Supervisor Waterhouse. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 100 of 2021, resolution authorizing payment of 2 vouchers in the amount of $245 and $134.22, submitted by Sue Wilder, Town of Lake Luzerne Ambassador Program for brochures and event calendars, with funds for payment from the Lake Luzerne Occupancy Tax Fund, introduced by Councilman Fazio.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 101 of 2021, resolution authorizing the supervisor to contract with retired town bookkeeper Linda Mason as budget consultant as requested by Supervisor Molino, where Ms. Mason shall work with Colleen Puck, the current town bookkeeper, to assemble the preliminary budget for fiscal year 2022, with total compensation paid to Ms. Mason in the amount of $1,000 from the budget officer line, introduced by Supervisor.
This was prepared at Supervisor Berlino's request, in light of the fact that he's not here, someone else is going to have to make the introduction.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second
All in favor?
it.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 102 of 2021, resolution requiring all applicants to the Planning and Zoning Department with a subject property within the Adirondack Park Agency to prepare and submit an online jurisdictional inquiry form to the APA, and it gives the email address, introduced by Councilman Fazio.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 103 of 2021, resolution approving and endorsing the application for a grant under the New York State DOS Comprehensive Plan Grant Program for the Town of Lake Luzerne Comprehensive Plan Update, introduced by Deputy Supervisor Waterhouse.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 104 of 2021, resolution prohibiting any public official elected to any town of Lake Luzerne public office, supervisor, councilman, highway superintendent, clerk, and/or justice from hiring or employing any town of Lake Luzerne employee in any capacity at a private business, property, or privately held business entity associated in any way with that town of Lake Luzerne elected public official or any member of their immediate family, introduced by Deputy Supervisor Waterhouse.
Well, yeah, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna mention we table this up so we can get a little more clarity on the do's and don'ts.
I'll second that. This was actually brought to my attention from the comptroller's office when they came in. They said that it's a bad idea to have any town employee working for any of us elected officials. It looks bad. So we're trying to make corrective actions to that policy. We just need some language help.
Just a little
Because,
clarification.
a lot of us, like, I have Dave's daughter that works for me, anyone in my private business, and just some clarity of what we can do, what we can't do before we pass this.
Yeah, just so everyone's aware, the 4 board members that you're looking at tonight made a request to the New York State Comptroller's Office to audit the town's books and all their financial affairs for 2016 to date. They've accepted that request, and they're in the process of assembling their team to come and audit the town of Lake Luzerne. We've been in communication with the Comptroller's Office, and we've made them aware of a number of issues. We haven't really spoke about publicly because there's been some issues with supervisor and his health and his family, and they didn't want to compound the issue. But Comptroller's Office is fully aware of all the concerns that many of the members in the audience have raised over the years, particularly the last 12 months. And that being said, one of the issues that was raised was employment of town employees by elected public officials. That's not a good idea. It's conflict of interest and conflict of influence, and we're taking the steps to remedy that situation through legislation.
But there's no law.
Hold on just a second, Let me finish. What the big concern is the elected officials employing town employees outside of the government operations at their private businesses that they have direct supervision of here at the town and also in their private business. That is a conflict of interest and a conflict of influence. So we're trying to craft the legislation appropriately so we can prevent that from happening going forward. Now, having said all that, I want to take this opportunity to apologize to Mr. Herring for some of the things that he's endured over the years that he voiced at the last meeting. I don't know the gentleman at all. Mr. Herring, never met the man before in my life. But some of the things he said at the last meeting in June were very disturbing. If you were treated like that in any public meeting, the town needs to apologize to you. I apologize to you for that.
Right.
Anything going forward that you have concerns on behalf of the town, you won't hear that rhetoric from any of these folks or from me as an attorney. I will never say, don't speak to you because you might sue the town. Those words will never come out of my mouth, nor will they cross my mind. Government is an open and transparent vehicle. Other than personnel files, you'll have access to everything. No conditions. You're very welcome.
Oh, for the table, okay.
For tabling it, Fazio and Lewandowski, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So we'll put this back on the agenda for next month, and I'll try to further refine the language in that statute.
Thank you. Let's see what it is. Yes.
We're gonna go to something new tonight, we're going to committee reports, something that we started a few months back, and very important to keep touching on it. Okay. For the personnel and employee, we got David and myself. David, you have anything for personnel?
The only thing is, we're gonna be going to the facial recognition time clocks. We've got some bids, we just have to get it all figured out, hopefully next week and vote on it.
I had one, we hired Connor Rumpf for a part-time basis. It turns out that he's not getting as many hours as we thought he was gonna need at the beach. So last week, we approved 30 hours. Last week, he had 16 hours. Raking the beach and doing the bathroom doesn't really constitute a whole lot of time for him during the day. I was wondering how we moved it so we could bring him in on a big Tuesday as well, because right now we approved Friday through Monday. Can we add him on a Tuesday and get him up to 30 hours? I don't want to discourage him. He's a really good worker.
My recollection of that resolution was
Up to 30
up
hours.
to 30 hours Friday through Monday, correct? And that was to take care of the beaches and also to address the cleaning concerns at town hall.
He did a great job here today. He was here all day. Yeah.
Well, if you want to expand the availability for him, you just have to make a motion to expand the hours tonight, and you can do that this evening if you'd like.
I'll make a motion.
You have to expand the hours, you have to expand his days.
His days, yes, hours.
Yeah.
We're keeping him to 30. But I just don't want him discouraged that he's not getting enough time where he's going to look for something else.
I'll make a motion that we allow him to work whatever days is necessary, not to move over the 30 hours.
I would, with one caveat, that he remain on Saturday,
Weekends.
Yes.
Saturday and Sunday, because that's really the purpose why you hired him, was to avoid overtime for beach cleaning over the weekend. So I would say keep him on those weekends.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mike, the assessor.
So again, talking to Melissa, I just want to commend her because I think she does a great job, as to everybody that I had the pleasure of dealing with on these committees. So I just wanted to reach out to her and say thank you. Well, June was all about completing our final roll. For those of you who may or may not know what that is, it's kind of like taking the inventory of all the properties in the town to see what's new, what's updated, what's dilapidated or whatever. So they've been doing that. You know, Barb helped a lot with that too when the senior center was closed for COVID. So thanks to her. It also included making bar changes and changes reflective of STAR reports from the state. They verified finalized state-owned land and easements amounts, special franchise, and telecom values as provided by the state before preparing the final roll. In conclusion, she picked up the final roll this morning at the county, so it's available to the public on as of July 1st, as it's supposed to be. She checked the website and made sure the link for our roll is there as well, which it is. So if anybody's interested in seeing that, you can access it from the website. I also noticed several things on the website that needed updating. She did forward that to me, and I forwarded it to Jamie, and she also had direct contact with Jamie, and I believe everything is updated, Jim, as she asked. Okay. Now, she also attached a printout of the assessor section on the website, highlighted the changes that need to be done, which is also done. Please pass along to Jamie, which I did, and I gave Melissa her contact information so she can deal with her directly in the future and leave me out there. So perfect. That's the assessor.
The town clerk's office and the records is myself, and Lori's been crazy busy. Cindy's on vacation and she getting tons of water bills in, so she's busy processing that. Colleen is unfortunately overwhelmed right now with the request for the comptroller. She has to go through all time cards for the last 5 or 6 years, so she's very busy as well right now. So they're a little crazy in there. Mike, fire department, or David O'Neill?
There's nothing new down there.
Okay. Transfer station.
We've worked a little bit on getting some information on possibilities of how many private town roads we're picking up, how many houses are on private roads that we're picking up. Okay. We're looking at possibly getting into private garbage pickup, such as Modern Waste. I'm only using that as a name, and see if it becomes a situation to keep it within lines of the cost of doing it ourselves or by an outside service. And that's what we're looking at right now. All our scales have been brought up to date, and just checked this past month.
Like, you have anything for EMS?
Yes, went to their meetings, which is the first Wednesday of every month, guys. If anybody's interested, it is open to the public. Down in the EMS building by the firehouse, they're doing a great job. In my opinion, things are running very smooth. They're going to offer an ENT class in early to mid fall. What they're doing is looking to cultivate some new employees. You know, I hate to say it, we're struggling to keep full crews down there 24/7 as part of their contract with ourselves and the town of Hadley. They cannot run without a paramedic on board, which is, ALS, advanced life support, which is what you want. If there's a problem, you want this person to show up, and that's part of the deal. The EMTs are BLS, called basic life support. They can run without those. So all they would really have to recruit is somebody to drive and have a paramedic on board. But we don't want that either, because 2 heads are always better than 1. As Dave and Paul Dan can attribute, when EMS shows up, it's good to have 2 people there working to save the day for whoever is in trouble. And with both of them there, ALS, BLS, you have a much better chance of survival than you do with just a driver and a paramedic. So the reason all this is coming around, we're being surpassed by neighboring towns and villages in terms of salary and benefits. The Lake Georges of the world, the Jessup's Landing of the world, they have a lot more money than we do. They're offering significant increases in pay over what we do. 401ks, retirement benefits, all that stuff that we are not able to offer at this time. They were very appreciative of the support we showed them, I think it was last month or the month before, by funding the hourly raises for the paramedics. We can't afford to lose these guys. I know it cost us a little bit of money, but in our opinion, and hopefully yours, it was definitely money well spent, because we can't have this go by the wayside. If we don't have paramedics, the ambulance can't leave the barn, and that's not going to do anybody any good.
They also lost a long-term member, my dad, Jack Fazio. My mom and dad sold their house. They moved out of town. He had to retire in front of the board. He was one of the founding members of the board, president a couple times, blah, blah, blah. So I wanted to thank him for his service on the record. And we need to work some money into their budget, for new equipment. Every time they've submitted a budget over the years, it was always knocked down to the bare minimum. Bare minimum in these days, guys, is just not going to cut it. The current ambulance has over 50,000 miles on it, which may not sound like a lot, but in that business, it is a lot. Our roads, it takes up pounding all winter long, potholes, we need to start thinking, a little forward thinking here and, help them come up with a fund that can support the new ambulance. If we don't, and they need one, it's going to be an instant hit on everybody to pay for it. We don't want that. We'd like to have a little money tucked away, in advance of, a little rainy day money or safety net kind of thing. So, I got 3 of us.
Very good, thank you. We'll save the highway for actually Ronnie, one for your report. Okay,
What's that?
I'm gonna save your report for a little bit later, so that's not our committees, but as well as the water department. If you have any news on the water department, we'd like to hear about it. Town insurance, the big thing right now is Medicare Part B. And it's really out of my hands right now, Bob. I know it's a big concern to yours, but the comptroller took it with her. She's gonna get back to us with her recommendations. But that's probably gonna be a couple months away. So in the meantime, we're gonna keep paying quarterly, but she's really concerned about reimbursement. It's supposed to be a reimbursement policy and not just us sending checks out, because we have no idea why those amounts are what they are. And I think you're well aware of that, but I will get back to you. I know it's important to you. That's it for the insurance. We have the tourism and occupancy. You have anything on that, Mike?
First, before I get into mine, I want to introduce Jamie to everybody. She's our IT social media website director, and I think she has a report that she wants to give. So if you'd like to get us up to date on what you're doing, Jamie, that'd be great.
I'm more than happy to. Can everybody hear me from here? I'm sorry, I injured my foot at my other job.
I'd love to have you come up here to the microphone.
All right,
We wanna
I'll
get you on
hobble.
CD. Oh, sorry.
That's fine. I can hobble.
We got probably crutches out in the other room. Maybe even a wheelchair for you.
Just had to. That's fine. On that front, I would say what would tie into what I do would be the social media aspect of it. The social media pages that I've established have been active for about a month now. I think it's like probably 2 days shy, but we've been seen by almost 10,000 people. Most of our audience is based in Lake Luzerne, but we have reached Queensbury, South Falls, Lake George. And if you looked at by country, we've also got a half percentage of a fan base in India, which that's not. But yeah, in terms of Instagram, that's a little bit slower, but we definitely got a great reach and we have a lot of interaction. I know today I posted about the updated senior center hours, and some compliments. I don't know if Barb is still here. I will email that to her, but people do like what we post and they're interested to know about what's going on in the area. So I do think social media is helping in that aspect. And that's all I have.
About the website, Jamie, I think doesn't work in there to get that ADA compliant and all that other stuff.
That's a slower work in progress. My goal when I go home after this meeting is to work on the search engine optimization. In terms of the compliance, I believe everything's fine. I just might have to test the colors one more time.
Nice job.
Nice job on it. It's very informative. It's nice to see. Thank you.
Does everybody know what we have now on Instagram and Facebook? We have our town website or whatever it's called on Facebook. Instagram, we have our own page. And regardless of the fact that I'm related to her, I think she's doing a phenomenal job. We have so much feedback from everybody. Who's Mary? Mary Ellen is a friend of mine. We graduated together. At our meeting last week, she was saying how good it was, and I think she's doing a great job and getting us on the map with a lot of other towns and villages in the Adirondacks that use this to get people here. So it's great. As far as senior center, or we have senior center no occupancy tax. I just get a request from Barb Mitchell for some funding for an event. I know we probably can't do anything with it now, but just gonna put it out there. She wants to have a Nashville Christmas on Tuesday, December 7th at the senior center. Asking for $1,500 in occupancy tax for a $2,000 event. Senior centers is simply gonna contribute $500 towards that as well. We had a great turnout at the Roy Orbison concert in the park there last month. It was packed, and Bart does a phenomenal job. It's a shame she's not here right now, but I just want to reach out to her and say thank you. Dishwasher in the senior center, I was down there looking at it today. She's asking for.
Stick with occupancy tax.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll move on to that senior side.
Gotcha.
All right, I think so, yeah, we have that. I did get a request from the chamber for $4,200. I think we approved 4,000 of it already, but they need to show us what they're spending it on. I was afraid they were doing it for scholarships, which really doesn't put the heads in beds, which this program is set up to do. So I'm gonna have her either email you or
Who requested it? Yeah.
Okay.
She didn't say what it was for.
she just gave me, she actually just left it on my phone at home for $4,200, but that was it. So, so I'm gonna get back to her and have her send us what you're spending the money on. All buildings and grounds, beaches, lakes.
One of the things I'd like to bring up is the bathhouses. The day of this report, we had no violations. The bathhouses are all in great shape. And that is by the New York State Board of Department of Health. We've worked out a number of issues up at the Pier Pond beach up there, which is including painting certain areas as a trip hazard, trying to show, to be careful on. We prepared the handrails going down to the lake. And the bottom step over the years has been able to be covered over because the beach is that high now. The other location that we have left to take care of, which should be done this week, is along the pathway going down between our beach area and the adjacent property owners, where the town water right now from our highway is going down that area is going to be cleaned out and taken care of numerous items. I think that's all I have right now.
Planning and zoning, do you have anything for that? Any issues?
On zoning?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Street lighting. Oh, that's like you again, I'm sorry.
I've been out on the road. I have located a number of streetlights that are out. I'm also hoping that the community can help us out a little bit on this. If you see a streetlight out on your neighboring area, if you can get us the pole number, it's right on the telephone pole that it's on, street address, and you can call the ladies in our town hall and give them that information so we can get Niagara Mohawk out there to repair our lights.
Public safety? Anything? David? No?
So we're good. Yeah, I wanted to reach Jim. Jim, she's still there.
Yeah, you said.
Yeah, Jim, just wanted to say thank you. Jim's always willing to help. I've been talking with him a little bit recently. He does our court, make sure everybody's safe in the court. He does not have a metal detector or any other devices that would help him secure the town building and or court system. I think we talked about maybe looking to see if there's some grants out there for some of that equipment. To me, that would be a no-brainer that he should have at least a wand to, with the people who are going in and out of there. I don't know, if the casting and dispersion, but they're not here by accident, right? So we might want to just make sure that everybody in there is safe. And if he's here to do our meetings and any other thing that Jim wants or that we asked him to do, he's more than willing to do. I think what we need to do is come up with a scope of work for him. You know what I mean? There really is nothing. So, to be fair to him and to the taxpayers of the town, I think that Jim should know what's expected of him. Right now, he really doesn't have a clear grasp of that. And that's something I would like for us to work on as a group and also talk about how he's compensated too, because he's a little under the market value.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I gotta say, Jim, thank you. We did have a dog bite this weekend, and I didn't know how to proceed. I reached out to Jim. I couldn't find Brett. He's our dog guy on what to do. And he ended up helping me. He called the people. It was potentially a dangerous dog. It was the second time that he attacked people. And he enlightened me to how it works. And you're fantastic. You have a lot of great info and I really appreciate you. I do. Thank you. No problem. No problem. Anytime. Senior Center, Mike.
So I asked Barb for a report and she's spot on with all her stuff as always. So the senior center had 483 participants utilize the program offered in the month of June. It's pretty darn good, right, for little old Lake Luzerne. For those who have been isolated due to the COVID virus, we can see that the reopening of the center was very much needed and embraced by the community. She has a full calendar in July as far as programs and activities for those wanting to join us. I think if we move forward with the medical ban or whatever it's called there, that's just going to help feed the senior center as well, because there'll be people seeing that have never done. She references the application for the occupancy tax that we talked about earlier for that event that they would like to do. After the huge success of our last event of 156 people joining the Roy Orbison show, she wants to host the event in December. They always have a Christmas party anyway, so that would be the perfect segue to do it. She references the under-counter dishwasher that's down there. I was down there today looking at it. Hasn't been maintained very well by the company that does the chemicals on there called Ecolab. It is through the county. I have my guy coming from my company that I work for tomorrow just to do me a favor. Take a look at it and get it cleaned up and see if it's salvageable. If not, we have a few quotes for something new, but I think looking at it today that we can make it work for sure. Before COVID, they knew it wasn't working correctly. She said she had someone come in and fix it 2 years ago. He said it's obsolete and we should start looking for a new one. I'm not sure that I agree with that assessment, but that's not her business. But you know, that she's just going off of what somebody else was probably to tell her to try to sell it. Stuff. And she said she met with Jamie on Tuesday to chat and introduce her to our team in the town building. We're looking forward to the visit and exciting things she'll be able to provide for our town. That's the senior center.
Energy, we've already covered that. We're sending everything out to bids as we should have been doing all along. I think that we just got complacent in years past. That's changing. But that'll be up to right now, Paul and David. Okay, looking for bids for that. Cemetery Association. Unfortunately, the comptroller took all the file on that, and they're very anxious, or they're very eager to see the county in that, and so I'm sure we'll be hearing from that soon enough. Website, Mike, kind of touched on it.
Jane kind of did us on that one, the IT part. As you can see, we were trying to do some different things tonight. I was in here today, spent some time looking at that rack of audio equipment that we have over there. We have really good stuff. Unfortunately, we haven't really utilized it or have a good understanding of what it can and can't do. I spent about an hour and a half here today with it. We're doing a digital recording right now, which is why we asked everybody to try and talk into the microphone. We have an EVR, which will last forever. We don't have to worry about tapes getting old and all that stuff. So if we can make that work, I can visualize a couple hanging microphones to pick up what everybody says a little more clearly, because right now, if it's not set into the microphone, it's not going to record it, unlike our cassette player, which will a little bit, but it's still obsolete and not a good way to be doing business. Talked about possibly getting like that presentation that we saw tonight, our own projector and a drop down screen over there where we can do these things. They're becoming much more prevalent with a box over on the wall where you can plug in and goes directly to the projector. Not going to cost a fortune, but it'll allow everybody in the audience to see, hear. Zoom would be much better for people and just moving ahead with the times and see where it goes.
Town clerk report.
I've given the town board the June clerk report, and we received a resignation letter from the planning board member, Mr. Jack Fazio. I would personally like to thank Jack for all of the years of service that he provided and for a good job. I wish him well.
So we need a motion to accept that. I make a motion to accept this resignation.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So, yeah. Ronnie? Highway?
Schofield is a work in progress. I had a full depth reclamation machine come in and we recycled the blacktop into the base. The best way to do these roads is to rebuild them. A lot of them don't have a very good base. So that section has been done and I added some recycled concrete material with that. And I think we have a very good base there. It's supposed to be paved Wednesday, but I think the weather's gonna push us up Thursday. Just that section of dirt will be binder, and then the following week, we'll overlay that. This week is the second spring cleanup. And in 2019, we had a storm that Johnsburg, Queensbury, all of them had a bunch of culverts washed out. I had a couple of areas up in Beartown that washed out. And with the FEMA money and all that, and then giving it out and record keeping, I put in and we got back $712.47 from the state and $4,274.84 from the federal. So a total of $4,987.31 for our efforts on the areas that got washed out. With that being said, I have an application in with Warren County Water and Soil for a bigger culvert put in that area where it got washed out. There's grants out there. They're always talking to me and asking me what I need. So we have an application in for it. Hopefully we'll get picked and maybe get some money back. That's all I got.
Thanks for, hit the road, say those trees down, stuff. Get the one river open, thank you. Okay, I have a report as a deputy supervisor. Last, at the end of June, we received a notice that our application for the infrastructure loan was due. So thanks to David and Colin Cook, we put it together. I just got notice today, we got $330,995 for infrastructure. We're gonna get half this year, half next year. So we're on, so I'm going to start thinking about projects, particularly water lines, would be a big concern. Okay, so that's coming this summer. We're supposed to get the direct deposit, so should be in the works. I'd like you guys to approve getting a credit card for Barb Mitchell. She's spending money out of her pocket to do the senior food and whatnot. And it's not a whole bunch of money, but she's putting out $200 or $300 a month out of her own pocket, and then we're reimbursing her. It'd be easier if she just had a credit card and didn't have to do that. Do I need a motion on that?
Are you just going to add her name to Colleen's
Comments?
card?
Yes.
Okay. Just make a motion to add her name to Colleen's card.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And, health department, that's good. Going through the budget, I've been starting to just getting myself acquainted with the budget because it's coming up soon enough. I found a couple of things that were a little alarming to me, and some things that were very good. And I'll start with the alarming things. Last year, we received a lot of money for timber cutting. The work was going to be done this year. And I don't know how that I missed it last year when we were looking through the budget, but there's $85,000 in revenue they say we're supposed to get this year that we're not getting. So that was a little alarming. I figured everybody should know that going into the season, the budget season. There are some good things. Watching payroll the way we have been has helped out tremendously. We're gonna be way under budget on that. The word from the county is sales tax is way up, so we'll be getting money from that to help offset the 85,000 we're missing. And the other big number that was alarming to me was mortgage tax. Our mortgage tax money is crazy higher than it's ever been. And I really think, and it's kind of a segue to where I want to head is, it's this Airbnb. we've had a lot of homes in Lake Luzerne sold to LLCs. And it's something that we need to take hold of quick, particularly with the comprehensive plan coming out. It needs to be part of that plan and what we're gonna do and how we're gonna manage these Airbnbs. In fact, today I got a complaint on the Heights, on the house that's right on the water, that their garbage is not covered, animals got in it, it's everywhere, so they're putting it out too early. So I called the man, he's in the Midwest. And I asked him, so, what are you doing? I said, you got a beautiful piece of property, you got garbage everywhere. It's all Airbnb. So I said, you know what, you need to get a caretaker. He said, I don't know anybody. I said, well, I'll find you somebody to caretake your property. You have to get your garbage out by 9 o'clock on Monday morning. If you get it out there at noon, you're too late, it's gonna stay there another week, it's more of a mess. So we're on top of that one at 85 Pier Pond. But I think these are the issues we're gonna face going forward, that septic issues. So we need to get maybe get a little panel together of people that could provide insight into this and check out what other towns are doing. But that needs to be part of our comprehensive plan. And I think that's it for me.
You're still looking for members for that, right, Dan?
No, the comp plan, I don't know how many we have.
I have gotten, I think, 3 or 4 in
This week,
the past week.
yeah, so we might be up to 8 or 10 right now.
Yeah.
And I'd like to get 15 if we could. I think that's, Jack, are you aware of that comprehensive plan? We're looking for panel members. I think you'd be a great one. You got good insight on things. John, you put your name in, right? Thank you. All right.
I could talk to you about it later.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's see. We're
If
gonna do-
anybody's interested, all you gotta do is give the ladies in the town hall a call.
It's gonna probably start after the first of the year, but we wanna make sure we have our panel set. You know, our ideas starting to form, quickly. Things with the lake, we might wanna get some lake people involved. I know at the association meeting, I asked for volunteers and we did get some, so it was good. So. Okay, Councilman Fez, you have anything else to report?
Just a couple of quick things. And I should have had this under my senior center report, I apologize, but I was talking to Barb today also. The place is exploding down there. I hate to just harp on it, but it's a good thing. It's a great thing for our community. She's working 5 to 10 hours extra a week unpaid. And Steven, who also works down there, is working probably 10 hours extra every week. So I really think we need to take just an overall look down there and make sure that people are being compensated fairly. I don't want to overpay them, but I don't want to see them getting beat up every week either. And ultimately, someone's going to suffer because they're going to leave to go somewhere else, or it's just not fair. We all work, everybody works, everybody gets paid, and I hate to be an advocate, sound like an advocate for it, but I am, because it's great. It does great service to our community, and I just would like to really maybe have a little workshop to just peel back the onion down there, what's going on, and see who's doing what and why, and just get
As we finish our employee manual, maybe that has to be looked at, because we have some part-time salary people that need to know what their benefits actually are, as far as do they get vacation time and how much they get. So we really need to work on that. I think we're close on that, but
Well, as you know, in our conversation with the comptroller, we have a lot of work to do on our employee
yes, we do.
department overall.
Yes.
So a lot that's been neglected over the last decade.
Paul, you have anything to add?
No,
David?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. I'm gonna open up the floor to the public.
Before you do that, I just have one request. As you know, Supervisor Merlino is out on medical leave. And until he returns, he's not going to be available to sign checks over $1,000.
Oh, that's right.
You passed the resolution last month to require 2 signatures of the supervisor, deputy supervisor, on all checks over $1,000. And what I ask you to do is entertain a motion to expand that to include the town bookkeeper as a secondary signator, in light of the fact that the supervisor is on medical leave.
Yeah, I'll make that
Until he
motion.
either comes back or the next administration takes over January 1st, I would ask you to entertain a motion to include Colleen Cook, the bookkeeper, as a signatory.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thanks, Dave. I forgot about that. That's okay.
Yeah, before we move forward with the the public comments, I'd like to just jump back to something you said about Supervisor Molino being on medical leave.
Yes.
Of course, you know, we're all feel horrible that, you know, he's under this situation, plus his son passed away, but when you're on medical leave, can we somehow distinguish what that entails or doesn't entail? Because from what I can see, he's picking and choosing as to what he wants to do and what he's doesn't want to do. He's not here tonight, but he's in the town hall. He's going about commanding certain departments on what he wants done. So either, in my mind, either you're on medical leave or you're on light duty or you're here to work. So it seems to me like it's just a matter of smoke and mirrors. Not that he's not sick, I'm not trying to say that, but I think we just need to figure out what he should be doing and what he shouldn't be doing for our own liability. And so Dan knows what he's supposed to be doing.
Correct.
It's just out of fairness to everybody involved here.
Correct.
I know that down at the firehouse, if you are out on medical, you're out until you are cleared by a doctor. You're not to come around for any reason whatsoever. I know that is precedent.
So the letter that Supervisor Molino tendered to the clerk, which is available to everyone, as a boilerable document, states that, I'm paraphrasing, is doctors recommend he take medical leave to the end of August. It did not say, I'm taking medical leave to the end of August. So it was a little bit ambiguous in my mind, so I emailed him and said, please clarify, are you actually taking medical leave to the end of August? I think I CC'd all of you on that email, but not heard from him, no response. So given I've seen his signatures on a couple of documents over the last couple of weeks, I have to, advise you that he's still active. So I'm not sure what his intentions are, and I haven't pressed the issue with him, obviously, for the reasons you spoke about earlier. So next week, when he gets back to it, so I'll speak again to him about it. But under the state law, the deputy supervisor takes over when the supervisor is unavailable. You can do everything the supervisor can do except attend. You can attend the county meetings, but you can't vote. Which means during this medical leave, we don't have a voice at the county. And I spoke to the chairwoman of the county board of supervisors, and the way the roles are compiled for the county, when a town supervisor does not appear, it counts as a no vote. That's the way their rules of operation go over there under the board of supervisors rules. So every time he does not appear and casts a vote, it's an automatic no vote.
Thank you, Dave. Okay, I'll open.
Dan, I got one more thing. Water department.
Yeah.
The hydrant that's up north, I need to change. I'm gonna do that in the fall with prices and delivery. I would like to go ahead and purchase 2 more hydrants to replace. There's plenty of them that need to be replaced. I just want to be proactive, get them in the yard, when the time is right, go ahead and replace them.
Do you get prices for that, or is it the same?
I can, but I'd like to stay with the same product that we have.
So just give us some prices so we can
Yeah,
work with that.
okay.
Anyone else? Logan? I'll open up for the public. Please, if you're gonna, anything to say, please come up forward so we can get on record. Jack?
John Herron. I'd like to thank council for what you said before, and I fully understand that it comes more from you guys than from him. So to me, it's something very positive. It's something to really look forward to. Thinking things and we can work together. I've got a few things that I want to bring up. I'm going to be as brief as I can because I know it's late. For those of you that will Danny, I'm sure knows, but I've been concerned about an issue of fairness with the way that the town does a lot of its business, particularly enforcing various laws. And there's been a double standard for a long time. It's been selective, it's been discriminatory, sometimes it's been fair. There's a case right now that I think is a perfect example, and I would like, if possible, to put in the record that I'm not filing a complaint against this entity. If anyone is to complain against how the town is handling it. There's an auto repair business on 9N right down in town. It's got 7 junk vehicles there. Basically constitute the junkyard. I've got photos of it if anyone would care to see them. They're all in plain view, broad daylight, and nothing is done by the code enforcement unless someone else files a complaint. Other times, code enforcement takes it on their own to see things and do it. Coincidentally, directly across the street from this business is the former Grant building. And I don't know if the gentleman still lives there, but it wasn't that long ago, a year or so, he came to this before the zoning board for variance to operate a junkyard. And he was turned down, and I believe rightly so. And now we have one right across the street, and there's no enforcement. Again, I am not making a complaint against them. I don't feel that I need to be the code enforcement officer, but it's part of this culture that the town needs to address and certainly be more fair. And I mean, you're the board, you are the guys in charge. And I'm bringing it to your attention and hoping you will kind of take the ball and run with it.
Jack, just so you know, it has been in our discussions. In fact, we're talking right now with a gentleman, because we need code enforcement. We're all aware that Karen can't do it. Karen does a great job, but we need somebody out there helping, learning, because she's not gonna be with us forever either. So we have a gentleman in mind. We just need to sit and get that number into the budget and get him going on it. And everybody will love this guy. He's a super guy.
That's encouraging as well, but I mean, there's so many cases in the past where there was a very, very obvious issue of one person being held to the burner and another one not. So I just hope that it's.
I think going forward, you won't see that.
I also believe that, Jack, that you're talking about the person across the street from this location was also trying to set up a perimeter fence line and not just junk cars, using it as a impound lot. Okay, just to make you aware, if you weren't aware of actually what it was.
I'm so.
It wasn't going to be a junkyard, it was actually an impound lot.
For wrecked cars.
They could be wrecks, they could be.
I mean, I'm so glad that the zoning board ruled the way it did. No way against it.
Right.
But now to have the exact same thing across the street, that's that fairness issue that
Actually, the gentleman, I believe, was a repo man.
Secondly, I'm concerned about some of the money that went out the door in the past year or two. And I'm wondering if you guys are going to attempt to recover it civilly. I know they're just allegations at this point. But we're talking thousands and thousands of taxpayer dollars.
It's in the comptroller's hands. And it all is right now.
Well,
What are you referring to?
What are you referring to?
The comptroller, I believe, and the council might correct me if I'm wrong, only deals with expenditures, not giveaways. Am I correct?
Can you be specific as to what you're referring to?
I'm talking about like the supervisor was alleged to have on multiple occasions stood up at the landfill and given different rates to different people for disposal of the garbage, the installation of a water line over in the Music Center Road. We're talking a lot of money that no matter how you slice it, in the end, it's taxpayer dollars that we're giving away. And I think that the town should take some sort of make an effort to recover that civilly, if no other way. If it can't be done, it can't be done. I mean, you've got council that can advise on it, but I think it's something.
Can I just ask you a couple of questions? This is the first I've heard of one of these issues. Are you saying that the supervisor was working at the transfer station?
He wasn't working there, but he did appear there. It's been brought up, it's on the record. And with certain people that came in, you know, you pay a fee for.
Yeah, of course.
And he would assign them different fees.
The only one that I was aware of was the hotel owner on East River Drive, and the pharmacy, of course.
during the flood.
And the problem is, the witnesses to this are employees, and in the past, employees that had anything to say became unemployees.
Well, that can't happen anymore. Look, that needs, all firings go through the board now. You know, nobody can be fired like that.
But, you know, it wouldn't be easy to recover these funds, but I think at least the effort should be made. You know, I mean, you can't just say, I mean, we've all agreed to what happened, and then that's it.
I believe that the comptroller's looking at that, though, Jack. I'm not sure.
Well, I know the
What their
controller was
role
made
is.
aware of the water line issue, but not this, this was news to me that he was actually assigning rates to people. Do you have any more specifics on that? I mean,
Well,
because you're asking.
it should be in the minutes. I was not the person that brought it up, but I was present.
Wasn't it during the flood, Jack, when people were bringing up soaking
No,
wet stuff
that was
during
a
the
different
flood? I
issue.
heard that was-
It had to do with another local business that needed to get rid of a lot of
Mattresses.
mattresses. And he gave them basically a deal. I mean, the town pays to get rid of them. So we paid for what he gave them as a gift. And I mean.
Do you have any recollection of one that was brought to the minutes? Someone might have brought it up. Oh,
I
this
think
is,
Glenn may have brought that up.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And it was a couple years ago because it was when that Whispering Waters changed. Was it
Whispering Pines.
Whispering Pines changed hands. That they were redoing it and he gave a breakdown.
But like you said, there's others, everyone knows.
Oh, yeah,
as you know.
absolutely, yeah.
There definitely was a discussion about the flood.
Yeah, I think
They're-
that
they're-
that for
That is,
everybody, that was.
Again, that would be for council, but that was a totally different issue. I mean, that was
open
the
to
town,
everybody.
helping all the
I'm just saying, that was
residents.
something that I recall too.
And, my last issue, which is very troubling, what has become known as the boat. Both Mike and Dan had told me that it was back and that it was going to get more work done. And,
No,
It's down
It
in
is.
the lake now.
Town of Lake.
There's also a pontoon boat trailer behind the old town hall.
That is
that's
a
ours.
trailer for
That's
that,
ours, yeah.
which has got a New York State license and registration for it now.
And it is to the town.
So it has a license plate.
Yes, it does.
My concern is the boat.
The boat's been registered also.
The boat appears to be stolen.
Pardon?
The boat appears to be stolen.
It's not there.
No, it's there. I have some photographs. All the numbers have been removed from it. And the town has no title to it.
How do we register without a title? I'm sorry, don't excuse my.
Yeah, bewilderment.
Well, I spoiled it for the title and told the risk.
You said we have one.
I would think if you registered a boat, you'd have a title.
Well, it would come in due time.
We have-
Yeah.
On the back of that boat, there is a registration number that was on there.
No, there's not. Here's a photo if you want to see.
I'm just saying, last
is
year,
there a whole number for the boat? Whole HULL? Is there a number
It's
for the whole?
referred to as HIN, H-I-N. No, it's not.
What's the, and again, this
can you
is
show
on
us, Jack?
the back end of that boat, there was what I call.
As of this past fall,
Okay,
This
before-
past fall, when it was down at the town garage, on the back of that vessel, there was what I thought was a VIN number.
and that is
That
what
was
the
before we
registration was put on.
I checked it before this went back for its latest work that was done on it.
Yeah.
And took a photograph. This is a photograph of where the bin should be. That's one river, that's the other. It was pried off, and that's just the remains of it.
Let's see.
Now the boat is back, it's in the lake. Yeah, it was riveted on here.
Right.
It's been pried off, and they couldn't get the second rivet, so they just peeled it off.
That is where, that was on the back of the boat.
Okay, well, it's done one. Now, it went up for work to this, was it at Aqua Locker?
Yes.
And they finished the job. They took the broken piece off as well. So now there is no number. And the number from the sticker, which is by the helm, which sometimes on pontoon boats would also have the hint, that's been removed. So there's no way to identify the boat. And I would submit to you, there is only one reason to remove a hull number. One only, and that's because it's stolen. no other reason.
David, should I call it safe?
That's how it is now, and the previous page is how it was before, what that worked out.
I
There,
can't
if- I mean, it goes without saying, they removed the rest of it, this last time the vote was there. And that, public health is a serious.
That is the number that we registered. That's the number that.
In the meantime, and council might help you guys work with this, to possess the vote is a felony, and to have it on order is a felony, without a VIN number.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Please don't.
You saved the best for last, right?
Okay, this is over.
I just want to say that everyone has the right to ask a question or to criticize anyone on the team, any town employee, it could be a supervisor, it could be a board member, it could be anyone. When you ask a question and you get an answer, you don't have to like the answer, you don't have to agree with the answer. But when you ask it over and over and over again, that's nothing short of bullying. And bullying is behavior that we should not accept. Last month, that almost cost you his life. Now, I assume that that was not the intention, but the EMT who checked him over said that he didn't have a pulse at times and he thought he was going to lose it. I'm sorry, I'm just so upset about this. Those who engage in bullying should be ashamed, and those who are in a position to stop it and don't should also be ashamed. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Mary, you have something?
Sir, with the casters? You, any questions? Okay, make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.